Hey guys, it's Aluna, and in today's video I'm going to be doing a stitch vlog of how I am working on my level 1 Jester. So, there's a video out already on how I started this, and I have mainly the chemise skirt and the overskirt and part of like the dirndl. So about that, I decided that I didn't like it, so I started over. Oh, yeah, I know. That's who I am as a person. I'm very sorry. So this is me redoing it. I'm going to keep the dirndl because I really liked how it turned out, but I'm just unhappy with the overall shape of my skirt, and I'm not happy with the overskirt because for some reason my little monkey brain told me you only need 3 panels for Jester's overskirt. It's 4. There's 4 of them. So mine has 3, and that drives me insane. Plus I found a much cuter fabric that like I like the textures and everything, so like that's more interesting, so we're going with that. So enjoy me making level 1 Jester again. Why am I like this? So the first thing that I start off doing is the blue overskirt, which is just a 4-paneled skirt that each panel is basically a triangle with the tip cut off the top. I found this really beautiful eyelet lace blue fabric in the clearance section of my local fabric store, and I was like, oh, bet, this is it. It's fully lined, except the very bottom is a raw edge, so I'm fray checking it. The reason that I did that was I didn't want to lose any of the beautiful detail that the scalloped bottom left. If I used a facing to finish the raw edge, you would have been able to see that through the holes in the lace. So I was in a bit of a conundrum on what I wanted to do to finish this. I specifically bought this fabric because I was in love with this scalloped trim at the bottom, and I really wanted to keep that detail in the costume. So this was my solution. The rest is super simple. You just make a rectangle into a waistband, which you can see me doing here, then add a clasp and you've got your overskirt. I'm just transferring my pattern to my fashion fabric for the main skirts, the white underskirt. I want to say it's 4 or 5 panels, and it's gathered at the top and just a rolled hem on the bottom, and then it's French seams for putting all the pieces together. Fairly simple, nothing too crazy. I did use a commercial pattern for this, but I made a mock-up because I had to shorten it. I wanted to make sure everything was perfect before I cut into the fashion fabric because I did have to make several special orders to get more of it in because my local fabric store stopped selling it. So I had to find it on Etsy.
these sleeves, where can I begin? First of all, one piece of each sleeve was an entire yard of fabric. So I needed 4 yards total just to make the part that goes from my elbow down, because once again, I love a dramatic sleeve. I also cut out the blouse from the same pattern that the skirt is from. I had a lot of trouble trying to draft out my own blouse like this. I couldn't grasp the concept, so I had to go out and buy a pattern because I really could not figure it out. Okay, now what I'm doing is cutting out the upper part of the sleeve. In this pattern, the sleeve goes a little lower than I would like it to for Jester. So here I am tracing out the pattern onto my own pattern paper. I'm going to draw a line that is going to be a 2 or 3 inch strip that I'm going to cut out of the pattern and then tape it back together, shortening the sleeve. This is really hard to explain, so I hope you watching me do it makes a bit more sense. Pattern altering and grading can be really confusing in written or spoken terms unless you see it actually being done. Make sure you remember to label your pattern piece, because if you don't, you will have no idea what it's for. Please learn from my many mistakes. All that's left is for you to sew the pieces together and finish any edges however you would like to. I prefer a serging stitch. Now it's on to the capelet. I use this pattern from Simplicity or McCall's. I can't remember. I'll put it in here in a second. And I just cut it out of a micro suede. I'll go in and sew the lining fabric to the fashion fabric. I chose a satin that matches the micro suede really well. There's a lot of different ways I could have put this trim on, but I chose the hardest way possible because apparently that's just who I am as a person. So after my cape had basically been sewn together, I opened up the lining and the suede and had it pressed flat against my machine, and then I just sewed the trim on that way. And it worked. That's a win, but weird way to put it on. Don't really recommend it. Now I'm just whip stitching the last seam close, which is the lining of the cape hood and the capelet bottom part. And I'm going to add a clasp, which I know I am sewing it on backwards, but it's going to be covered by a giant bow anyway, so it doesn't matter. Popping back in just to say thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you might have potentially learned something. If something doesn't make sense or you have a question, feel free to drop it down below. I'll be happy to answer them for you. I can say personally that I'm already a lot happier with how this one is turning out than my first one turned out. So I don't regret remaking her at all.
At the end of the day, if I make a costume and I'm not happy with it, there was no point in me actually making it because I'm not happy with it. That's just how my brain works. I know that's a lot sometimes. Once again, thank you guys so much. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will see you guys in a stitch.